Hey there, my name is John Paul, and nope, I'm not a pope, even though I love to help you cope by instilling in you some hope. I'm your favorite nurse educator and your staunch mental health advocate. I make mental health and self-care videos, and I come your way again. Before it's too late, subscribe, give us a comment at the end of the video, share and like it. Ever heard of the saying, the journey of life gathers clutter? We are still talking about who are you. I'll be right back. In one of my videos, we started a conversation on who are you. Today, I bring some more information on who you are. In my video, I talked about some individuals who have done extensive work in the issue of personality. I mentioned Eric Erikson, I mentioned Sigmund Freud, and I mentioned Jean Piaget. The focus today shall be on Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud did extensive work on personality, coming up with some concepts like the psychoanalysis, defense mechanisms, the levels of the mind, and the psychosexual developmental stages, all of which have a little bit to contribute to who we are. My focus today shall be on the levels of consciousness. Well, who you are, like I said earlier, is as a result of the clutter you have gathered in life. You use the iceberg to represent the personality. So we have the iceberg model of the mind or of the personality. So Sigmund Freud lets us understand that there are three levels of the mind, for which he represents above the water, just beneath the water, and deep beneath the water as the consciousness, pre-consciousness, and then unconsciousness respectively. So consciousness is represented by the surface of the water, and then the pre-conscious represented by the space just beneath the water, and the unconscious like the deeper part of the water. If you have seen the movie Titanic, we are talking about the iceberg. Remember, the part that sank Titanic is just a third of a very big mass buried beneath the water. And that is what we are referring to as the levels of the mind. Our personalities begin to develop the very day we are born. According to Sigmund Freud, the conscious mind is made up of information, emotions, feelings, urges, desires that you are consciously aware of. So now if you feel like calling your loved one, that information is in your conscious mind and it is something you are aware of now. Again, the pre-conscious mind is just beneath the water or beneath the conscious mind, and that has a lot to do with information not in your immediate awareness but can be brought to your consciousness by little effort. For example, you meet an old friend in town and he asks, "Can you give me your phone number?" Note, at the time you met your friend, you were not thinking about your phone number, but you are able to readily present your phone number out of mind to the individual. Another information that is in your pre-conscious mind is your date of birth. Of course, everyone remembers the day they are born. One interesting one, this information is very tricky, but I guess it may or may not apply to everyone. At this material moment, you can recall the very day you had your first kiss. That butterflies that ran through your stomach. You do remember, right? That is what I'm talking about. That information is also in your pre-conscious mind. And maybe yes, the senior high you attended, your very childhood friend that you lost along the way, those information, all of them, and everything that you are not thinking of at this moment is in your pre-conscious mind. And now to the focus of today's discussion, the unconscious mind, which Sigmund Freud lets us understand that they are the mental forces that determine who you truly are. Because, like I said, the journey of life gathers clutter. I'm coming to that anyways in a bit. Now, the childhood you had, the kind of environment you grew in, the kind of brothers, siblings, friends that you had as a child. Note, you do not remember the day you took your first step as a child, do you? No, you don't. There are some children that once you hold them up in the arm and want to throw them, they are very anxious and agitating. But there are others who are very happy and want you to throw them all about in the sky whilst they laugh their heart out. Now, You may say, I am very scared of heights. I do not want to be above anything more than 2 floors. I ask, why are you scared of heights? Why are you scared of heights? I believe the obvious reason is that you are going to fall and get hurt. But of course, if you are on the last floor of a skyscraper and you look down, you are going to have some butterflies. But there are some individuals who have very high sensation seeking and they don't mind what level of floor they are on a skyscraper. But you, who is so scared just by looking beneath you, you are scared. It could be that at a time when you were a baby, you wouldn't like to be carried above, and those kind of behaviors just send shivers down your spine. You become so terrified. I ask you, do you even remember how you quit breastfeeding? The circumstances surrounding how you quit breastfeeding when you were being weaned. There are some of you that your parents would have to smear very bitter stuff on their breast just so you can stop feeding. Maybe when you are the age of 3, maybe 2.5. There are others who by the age of 1.5, they just know that no, they are enjoying the solid foods and they want to just quit breastfeeding. Don't ever think that all of those things that occurred to you when you were a child, as you were a baby, they have been pushed to some garbage can. No. All of those things are buried in your unconscious mind, as Sigmund Freud let us understand, and they are dictating the kind of adult that you are. A quick one. If you're someone who extensively used your mouth when you were a child, maybe chewing on your clothes, picking up buttons and putting in your mouth, anything you see, you push it into your mouth, you are very much likely to have been someone who was fixated at the oral stage. And can you tell me for a fact that you remember what was happening to you when you were maybe between the ages of 1 and maybe 2.5? All of those things are buried in your unconscious and they are telling on your person right now. So, for example, if you're someone who pushed anything in the mouth, sucking your thumb and then very much doing things that makes you feel that you are busy with your mouth, you will grow up later in life to be very, gullible, to be a talkative, to be someone who enjoys, using the mouth for things and then chewing, being talkative. Let me see who I can use as an example. Yes, Alex Ferguson of United would always chew when on screens. Doesn't matter where, he's always chewing. Note, that behavior is very, fixative of the oral stage of his life. And it goes on, and you do not want to believe that the kind of relationships you have with your siblings are letting us know how you relate to people now. So be warned. Be careful that you are making the younger ones around you have a very, loving and nurturing childhood, because it will come back to hit them in the face when they are adults. When you are loved, you go through life, early life, in a very loving and very nurturing way. You grow up feeling confident about yourself, developing a very normal and healthy self-esteem. Have a conversation with your mother or a significant other who saw you grow up. Ask questions about the kind of childhood that you had, and you will see that indeed there's a link between the childhood you had and the kind of person that you have. Do you observe that females in choosing life partners will look for their fathers in their husbands? It is not by chance. It is because they have internalized the features or the kind of person that their fathers are and seek that kind of person in their husbands. So yes, I've mentioned the levels of the mind, talking about the conscious, the pre-conscious, and spent enough time discussing the unconscious mind. What determines who you truly are? Of course, remember, the iceberg that sank Titanic was not what we saw above the water, but the chunk of it was buried beneath it. So who you are is buried in your unconscious, the kind of childhood that you have, and the places that you find yourself earlier in life. 30 years from now, the life you'll be living will be very telling as a result of the life you're living now. So, you want to make sure that you store up good energy, positive energy that is going to help you better develop yourself when you grow up later in life. Who you are, this is something that can explain who you are. Engage in personality development programs that would help you evolve as an individual. And then, in our part of the world where psychotherapy and seeing psychologists is something that is so much abhorred, you can be the one to begin that in your circles, where people appreciate and feel free to talk about things that disturb them as a person. This is John Paul the Mouthpiece, again, bringing you some information on how to develop your person and live a mentally healthy life. I'll come away again. Give us a subscribe, leave a comment, and let's see what you think. Like and share. Thank you.